Hello and welcome to today's once again very late men's mental health video. Um, I've just had an interesting day, um, but ended pretty well, and I'm going to tell you why. And maybe that can really help you. And I know what I did sometimes isn't always the easiest thing to do, but it's really helpful for me. So today I felt very. There are times where I felt very depressed. Not been sleeping as much, and I know sleep really impacts on mental health. I've been staying up and doing it again, but it's the weekend tomorrow, so I don't have to do my consultancy work. Although I choose not to. I'm blessed to have that in my life. I yeah, no, I've been working late, so I didn't get much sleep, and there are times today. Honestly, I had to lie down because I was once I had to lie down because I was really feeling depressed. I was really down. And a couple of things helped me. There's a really great company who actually had a conversation with me about potentially working with them. I'm not going to because I don't have capacity, but there's a great company called IMD Breathwork, and they've got a really good YouTube channel. It's completely underestimated because it's very new. They've got a couple hundred subscribers, but they've got like 300 plus 5-star ratings on their breathwork on and they're pretty new, to be honest. So they're growing their YouTube, but they're going all around the world, and they got a really great video of listening to it, and really, it works with the brain waves in your head by binaural beats, and then also breathing at the same. Obviously, you're breathing, but like breathwork techniques. So it's kind of getting your brain and working for your body. So yeah, I that that kind of really helps me. But I had to lie down because I was so tired and not feeling so good. So maybe it impacted my sleep tonight. Although, having said that, ironically, I didn't even intend to yawn then, so that was quite funny. Or not, if you found that annoying. Anyway, yeah, I was really down, but I had a call with one of my new friends, and she's awesome. A friend from my recent event, and me and her just spoke because we're going through the same program together. Danny Morale's Awaken to really go deep in healing. So a lot of these videos, I'm going to talk about what I'm coming through on that, or was coming up for me on that, because it's really insightful when you can really work through on a deeper level. And yeah, we caught up to do an exercise, and we ended up, and the exercise is like 5 minutes each. So we ended up having like a conversation for an hour and a half, which was really cool. So it's really cool when you got a friend like that you can chat to. So yeah, me and her though, she said a couple of things that were kind of like really life changing for me, or could be. And I've been having I've had a few of those moments over the last couple of weeks from this event. And what led me to the event was being in a very dark place, really dark. You know, so I've openly shared thoughts about not wanting to be here at times, but not wasn't going to act on those things, but that kind of level. And even though, like, my friend was saying, you seem like very confident and like really confident in your public speaking, and then like when there's leadership opportunities, I'm like jumping into them in the program, and I get out there, I share stuff, I'm vulnerable, I'm open, and I know people feel like a hold on that, and I can totally understand it. And yeah, it surprises some people the kind of challenges I have internally, and I really opened up to her about my challenges with dating and relationships, which bizarrely is not bizarrely, but I guess it is what it is. As I've kind of shared, that's always been a challenge for me. Um, Even though I'm a guy who physically looks after himself, I'm blessed to look reasonably good. But I look after myself as well. Work very hard, got a good career, done some stuff in business, got a successful podcast, all these kind of things, do really well in sport, got good friends and families. But it just, whatever it is, I just really struggle, and I've had a lifetime struggle. And I shouldn't use those words because I've got to be very selective with language. Use the word struggle because you'll bring more of it when you embed it into you. But I've always had this lifetime situation of not finding a serious relationship and being in love. And for me, I was talking to her about this because she shared her previous situations. And as with most people I talk to, most people have had like some kind of serious relationship, been in love, had a long term thing. And at 34, and again, I'm just being really, my intention right now is just to be open in who I am. I've got better at that over the years, but this is still an area that I hide a little bit about myself because I feel like there is a part of me that's into societal norm, not into it, but like does follow it. But there's a lot of me that doesn't. Like I'm really, if someone's like, you got kids, like I'm really not that bothered about if someone judges me on having kids or not at this age. But I guess the whole do have most people, I guess, had serious or long term relationships or been in love by the age of 30, let alone 34? Yeah, yeah, they probably have. Not everyone, but most people. And I guess what I was saying to her was I've been judging myself against it because, like, for me, I've had a lot of like I'm not wanting to take something further with a woman in the past because like into a serious thing and never led anyone on. I've never been 100% angel all my life, but I've certainly had my own morals and things, values I follow. Um, but then at the same time, it's for me where I'm at and the depth of myself and who I like to hang out with, and what I like to talk about and share. I'm quite a deep man, and sometimes it doesn't resonate with some women, but other women it does, and we're all on our own path. But it's actually quite rare for me to find someone, and when I do, it's kind of it's not necessarily it's not like more often than not led somewhere. Or led into anything. Well, it's definitely not led into anything serious or long term in my life. But yeah, like more short term relationships and things like that. But yeah, and not many, not even many, like over my life. But it's just an area that I've been judging myself against. Now, of course, like even say I was really comfortable with this area, and this is me just being very open, and someone could come on this and comment and say, "Oh, that's embarrassing," but someone else could come on this and be like, "I really resonate with that." And that's the person I'm speaking to, or the person who goes, "Thank you for sharing the story." And I'm not attaching to any outcome, but yeah, I guess my message is I've been judging myself a lot for that. It's been like, oh, you should have found someone. You should have, and the should is, as the expression goes, we should all over ourselves, and it's not a good phrase. So yeah, for me, would I have loved in this stage and like to be in a loving, serious relationship? Of course I would, right? But it's just not clicked for me. Now I don't sit here and go, oh, all women are difficult because they're not. Women are beautiful human beings, you know, and I believe human beings are like at their core, but like we get damaged, we have wounds, and some people go obviously way too far or do some terrible things. Yeah, yeah, but like you know, unfortunately, men don't treat women well, and sometimes women don't treat men well, and whatever gender it can apply, right? Um, so I certainly don't go, oh, it's women are difficult. They're not, definitely not. Maybe me like 10 years ago would have thought that, but actually me 10 years ago just been going out getting drunk all the time, and partying, meeting whoever. But like, yeah, like I take responsibility because it's like I was saying to her, I take responsibility because like, I seem to attract the same type of woman, which would be like a um, usually pretty beautiful inside and outside. I'm quite proud of that. Intelligent, um, interesting. Those are kind of like the women I tend to, and usually relatively healthy as well. Well, yeah, I like that's actually a really cool value. So they've got to be, looking after their health. Um, those are the kind of women, but I also attract women, who sometimes are a bit like feeling like a high and all that kind of thing one minute and then like distant the next. So that's no judgment to them, but that's me saying I'm doing something within inside myself to bring that on me. And I feel like when you can say that and take it back to you, it's not like if people do something wrong to you, it's not like saying, oh, that's acceptable, I'm going to be pushed over. Like, no, we're not saying that at all, right? But it's like I've realised that if I'm inviting certain things into my life, it's something inside of me. So I was speaking to my friend, and she asked me some really good questions, and I was kind of coming. It's almost like a coaching session, but we just started off by kind of just doing this exercise we're meant to do as part of the group. But like, yeah, I came to realize that if I'm judging myself for, oh yeah, not following, the standards of you should be married and kids, or let alone have a relationship by the age of 25 or 30, and I'm like, well, I'm not, so I'm different, or I'm like even a little bit of guilt or shame around that. If I'm putting that on myself, yeah, maybe that can explain quite a lot of the, I've got the good qualities on the outside and things like that, and I've got a good heart, I believe, inside of me. But if I've got those beliefs about myself, that's probably what's causing quite a lot of this suddenly women going distance or things not working out, or maybe sometimes when I go in these money cycles of like it going down. If I've got those beliefs inside of myself, and I've got judgment over myself in different areas, that's always going to happen. So yeah, it was a really beautiful conversation. And that's also something that's really powerful. I'm making this video a bit longer, even though I've got a late night, but I think it's really important. Is the people you speak to, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's just on my heart right now. The people you speak to make such a difference, I believe, mentally. They talk about like talk to people in mental health and things like that. And I think it's 100% true. But I also think what's not said is don't talk to the wrong people, because that can be more damaging. And the wrong people doesn't mean bad people. A wrong person does not mean a bad person. I'll be really clear on that. You could have someone who's loving, who's kind, who's got really good intention, but they're just not the right person to speak to. Now you're thinking, why is that? Well, quite a lot of people most of us have our own wounds, our own challenges, right? And some people are so caught up in theirs or unaware that they just project their problem, or they're just thinking about themselves rather than listening to you. I've got some friends who are like this. They're like, I'm here for you anytime. Speak to them. It's all about them. Like, I'm really hurting here, and they're like, they're offering to hold space. I share with them. They don't mean to, but they're completely neglecting and pushing away what I say, because the only way they know how to handle it is to try and like fix it and push things away, and that is not healthy. I had a friend, and I was just kept getting interrupted. It's like, how do you think that made me feel when I'm opening my heart up? And again, it's no judgment. It's not like they're a beautiful person. They just don't have those skills or that ability to hold someone else's emotions because they haven't handled theirs. So that's what I feel. I'm getting a gift in all of the things I've gone through, because when someone shares with me, I'm not going to bring my advice. I'm just there to listen and hold a space, and it's a skill I'm working on. So find people like that for yourself. And I'm not saying I'm the best at this, by the way. I'm constantly working on it as well. My early coaching days, I used to take on clients and I'd give them some really good guidance and it helped them. But if I was like the person I am now, I'd have given them even more value, because I just would have held even more space for them. But we go on our journey. Some people are just going to project onto you. So finding people is key. And like I was speaking to my friend earlier, she's really holding space for me. And really offering me some good insights and questions. I really appreciate that. I had a situation a few weeks back, and I spoke to two people who made me feel completely different. Both good people, both good women with hearts. The first one, I spoke to made me feel so anxious that I had to put the phone down. She didn't mean to, but she was in such a place herself that she just wanted to help other people, but it was deflecting what she was going through. And her questions were along the lines of, what do you think you're doing wrong there? And that's the kind of question I'm asking myself. So it kind of amplified when I'm in a down place. So that didn't help me. But then I spoke to someone else and she was asking me these beautiful questions. And then I actually started crying when I found out a couple of weeks later what this woman, this beautiful, amazing human being and soul had been through in her life when she really opened up. And like the amount of space in question, it's almost making me cry now because she's such a beautiful human being, this woman. And she was just holding the space for me. And it was like, I just felt so better. So my message here is some people, if you share with someone, they don't make you feel good, do not share with them again. Just tell them you love them, or appropriate words if they're not the kind of person, you just say I love you too, and move on. Find someone else to speak to, because I think it's really important to hold that space. But yeah, ultimately the message today was about not how you judge yourself is going to be mirrored back. I think is my realization for today. And that mentally is a big thing for me. Funnily enough, in my physical health, I always have a belief. I'm like, I get into shape quick. I'm healthy. I'm energetic. And do you know what? Like, I can't guarantee it, but not a lot of illness has come up for me today. All right, could it happen in the future? Yeah, it could. Not a lot of major injuries come up to me either, because I have this belief of like, no, all good with that, and it's like I don't question my health. I know I've got certain abilities in it, whereas other areas I'm like questioning things about me, and guess what gets mirrored back? Challenges. Now people may not believe this, but just write down evidence for you where things show up and they don't, and then actually start diving into what the beliefs and the way you view yourself in that area, because results tend to be consistent with how you view yourself, I found. And you can choose to not believe that, but when you don't believe that, what happens is you leave everything to circumstance, I found. You're like, well, I'll leave everything to chance instead of going in and then taking ownership, which I'm very much on a deep journey and just sharing mine with you today. So a bit of a longer one today, but I felt like I was called to share a lot. So thank you for listening.